Hello, hello. Hello, hello. All right. We are good. And welcome to final final day for GOG. Hello, Kofi and Thomas. it's been it's been a journey and a half. Surprisingly, not that long. Um, did check our first day, and it's been like 2 months and a week or so. So surprisingly, not too long, I'd say. There comes the space elevator. But yeah, we have reached our goal of Mega Apiary and Space Elevator. I should tell Scorpion. But yeah, we've done it. There sets the horizon in the back. But yeah, it's been a pretty good journey. Yeah, 2 months journey. Honestly, I thought I would have been a lot longer, but yeah, pretty good. Sadly, the base isn't fully finished, but it is what it is. Yeah, let's just quickly show off what happened in the background. But yeah, here's our final base view. And yeah, there's honestly not much that's been added on to the base. Because really, there wasn't too much new stuff that had to be done. But yeah, our Nequata line is the same. We did add more assembly line and stuff, but we'll show that in a bit. But yeah, our top area is pretty much the same structure. Only thing that really got added on is like the fusion area. It's quite, I kind of like how it's looking, but yeah, let's start. And I did actually, when even was the last stream? It's probably been like almost 2 weeks, week and a half. I'm not sure. Let me check. It's been a lot of starting recipe and waiting, because at certain point we were just like, like our goal is so soon that we didn't really see a point in scaling too much. If we were to continue to run, there were few things that we definitely would have done more scaling of, but like at certain point it's like, okay, what we have now works, so there's really no point to scale it up. And yeah, last time I like stopped right before setting up our wet wares. That's like pretty much like the first thing I did after stream. Yeah, we really should have rebuilt a lot. Yeah, here's all the wetware lines, and we didn't really need all this. We only needed like a few because yeah, the thing about circuit is you can replace older recipes, right? So I just look at any of these. Last time we were doing crystal lines, but we didn't really need to keep these three. We can keep the IV one because this is technically the best recipe. All we had to do was replace the circuit assembly lines using these three to just move up and then add a new one. And yeah, that's kind of what we did here. So we just replaced some of the old crystal processor, but yeah. What was the end goal? Our end goal was getting the space elevator built and at least doing. And also the mega apiary, which I've gone ahead and spruced up a little bit. But wetware's pretty cool. It's like the start of bacteria beds, which yeah, we also set it up last stream. Surprisingly, the setup I did was really good. It just kept on running since pretty much. I did turn it off at one point because we had way too much growth medium, and like we had enough for space elevator at one point anyways. So yeah, we just did turn it off. All I did was turn off where it's feeding the plutonium and like the bacteria. This one, which should, oh yeah, this thing's off. Let's just start it up. Yeah, this thing's been pretty much like constantly running. Just feeding us the wetware material. And yeah, just this setup was enough. Obviously, like if we were to scale, like continue on further, we'd have to have many more. But that's fine. That wasn't our case. Um, and yeah, as every episode, you pretty much have to, yeah, only two, one for bacteria, one for growth medium. But it was running like permanently. And yeah, every episode we had to scale up our power, so we had to do that again. So we had to get 2 of large, what is it called? Yeah, Turbo XL Steam thing. That's a word. And it's really good. If you feed it with constant steam, which we actually aren't right now, we're actually not turning plasma into supercritical steam fast enough. So yeah, this quantum tank is out right now. If it is though, it is generating 16 mil EU per tick. As of now, it's only making 10 mil, 5 mil each combined pretty much. And that's still good. I don't know how it was running at max before, but recently it slowed down to 5 mil each. Cause yeah, we've had it running for a long time and it's been running at 8 mil each. And then like only like a few days ago it started dropping down. I'm not sure how that happened, but anyways, yeah, good power. And to keep up with the plasma, well, we had to scale up our donuts. It's a lobster. And we did just make multiple fusion tier 1s just up here. And these are all set for helium plasma. And they're not really running. Mostly because, well, we're not really using anything for power right now. Yeah, the turbines up there are running, but it's going to stop eventually. And with so much power, we had to scale up our battery. Which is still 1 tall. No, we didn't really go too deep into the battery. Surprisingly. But yeah. And pretty jank laser vacuums for transferring power using laser hatches. 4096 amp ZPM. Yeah, that's crazy. And there wasn't really too much work done down here because we didn't really need to. I did add more bees here and there. This is a line of space bees. And I don't remember if I had this before. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I might have, and I just forgot. But yeah, I did just get all, like, pretty much all the space bees. Some of them are very good. So example is, I know one of them we made a ton of. Actually, we can probably just see up here. I'll just show in the thing here. Which one was it? Okay. Oh, Vega B. Yes, Vega VBs. I did make like 6 up here. There's 4 plus 2. And that's because Vega B, which obviously just gives Vega Stone. All the space bees just give their moon dust. That's really what they do. Combs also can be centrifuged into dust, but it's so power hungry that all we bothered to do was use this one, screw the combs, use this one. And yeah, Vega B centrifuges into europium, which is crazy. But it also centrifuges into awakened draconium and neutronium, but like a lot of neutronium. So yeah, we've been running that for a long time. And what else does it give? Yeah, 235 and 241. We have a good amount of those. But yeah, mostly we ran it for these 3 stuff. And Awakened Draconium, we don't have much right now, but we did get a new source, which I'll slowly get to. Bees that gives you LV motors? There's a what? I gotta look that up. There's no way there's a bee that gives you LV motor. Is it like this thing? I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't see a bee that gives LV motors. But yeah, after setting this up to run, like the first thing I did was like set up giga centrifuges. These did have UV. Both of them had UV energy hatches. I did downgrade those. This one is actually still UV, but they're both not running right now because, well, we don't need anything at this point. We're already done. But with that, we actually had a source of awakened draconium, even if it's garbage, right? 0.5% for 4, even if it's garbage. If you just run it at giga power, you eventually get 2 stacks, which meant we were able to make 1 set of coils, and then we kept on running this, eventually 4, and eventually all of them. But yeah, this is like the next tier of coils we can get. If we look at multi-block goals, right, up from Electrum Flux, Next tier is quite far away because it uses UHV circuits and a lot of infinity stuff, which we have access to, but not in a way we can spam it. Not to mention, it also needs UEV power. We would have need to make 2 UHV energy hatches. But yeah, technically we do have access to it. We're just not gonna go for it because it's, yeah, we're not going on any further. But yeah, these have been pretty good. Heat bonuses are always welcome. They're really good to aim for. I'm hoping that's the same in the modern GTNH or modern GT. But yep, extra byproduct of mercury, useless. And yeah, bees. The next thing really we needed to do was set up for Mega Apiary. And honestly, that was a lot easier than I expected. Obviously, we're going to be missing stuff now. Really, the only thing we needed was more bacteria for the wetware and neutronium because... Actually, was it only 2008? I thought it was more. But yeah, either way, really the only thing we were missing for Mega Apiary was neutronium. Mostly because it's really not that bad. Only bad thing is this and this upgrade thing. So you need 16 UV arms and a stack of this thing. So we would have need 11 UV tier world accelerators. Yes, we're gonna give you a world download, DJ Mix. I believe Truefort said he wanted to do that, so that'll be cool. But yeah, all of this required a ton of neutronium because all the UV parts use neutronium and the previous tier circuits. More neutronium, and a lot of americium. Americium, thankfully, we just had the fusion running, which was the Mark II one, because americium is only Mark II fusion. Yeah, this guy legit ran for like 2 days straight at one point for the americium. Thankfully, we didn't need to make too many more americium after Mega Apiary though, because with Mega Apiary done, which it's a really big structure, it's like that. Everything else is thankfully free. It's wood, bronze, some dirt. And the alveoli parts, they're really not bad. It's as long as you have some bees running, it's really just basic material. After you have Mega Apiary running, anything from B is essentially free. It is crazy good. I can just run it right now. We did have it turned off at one point because it does still use 1 mil EU per tick. Right now we're feeding it UV, I believe. Yep, just 1 UV hatch. I don't believe this can take 2 hatches. But yeah, it's quite good. 5 seconds. Let me turn that off. Making all that stuff. But you can see in there, there's I just saw it, americium comb. Yeah, right there. There is a B for americium. Oh, let me check Discord, sorry. Did you link something? What? I don't know why I don't see that in my game. Maybe that's a up-to-date thing? Huh, that's really weird. That is interesting though. This is the epilogue tech game. This is our final episode, mostly because we reached our goal of the 2 multi-blocks. But yeah, Mega Apiary does unlock a few bees we didn't have access to a long time ago. And it's these bees. Xenon bee I've made a long time. It says here, will only be produced in Mega Apiary. That was key thing that was missing for Xenon. Americium is also the same. Only Mega Apiary, same for Drake. And Drake is for Awakened Draconium. This one can be made, but it's just Draconium, which we don't need. And, oh, Scorpion, it's the PCB factory, just to make faster circuit boards, because it overclocks it perfect. And yeah, this thing's so good. In fact, it's so good that we're having a bit of problem storing all the B stuff. 4 mil ME cells and they're pretty much filled up. And that's with this thing not even running like all the time. Yeah. Mills of items, mills of combs. It's quite crazy. Like some stuff have been producing all the time, that's why there's not much built up. It also has a thing to toggle it with royal jelly to make more. Surprisingly, it's been pretty garbage. Like, I don't know why. And from what someone said in GOG Discord, it's not worth using royal jelly. It's always better to just spam more of these. But yeah, that is an option, which I did try to do, but it wasn't too great. Either way, Mega Apiary was the first thing we made. And it's been making us a ton of Xenon, which is actually really crazy good. The thing about Xenon is, you know, the EBFs, they have a recipe to cool down like cooking time, right? So if I just look at anything like, I don't know if any ingots will do. Let's see. All right, this one doesn't have it. Most ingots, maybe tungsten steel hopefully has one. Yeah, most ingots have cooling fluid. So like normally you can do this recipe, or using 11 circuits you can use a cooling fluid, right? This one, nitrogen, 12 seconds, not too bad. But the thing is, every ingot either uses like a base tier cooling gas, which is like nitrogen, oxygen, or what was it, hydrogen. There's also one tier that's kind of shared. It's either helium, neon, argon, krypton, which was the one we had before, and then there's xenon and ogneson. I don't know how to pronounce. It's like crazy word. Ogne. How do I even spell it? Oh, ogneson. Yeah. However that works, but it's kind of hard to spam till end game pretty much. Xenon. Thankfully, we can spam now, and the thing about krypton is it's not used in most metal cooling recipes. So if I just look at krypton, it's only 70 pages, but Xenon has way more pages. Yeah, 98. And you can check here, when I use krypton for this, it's 27 seconds, but Xenon is straight up like a 20% time reduction. So it's just pretty much a lot more efficient for almost every recipe. Well, not almost every, but a lot of the more important recipes. It was just really worth getting, right? It saves us 20% power here almost. And yeah, why are you ending the series? Because we reached our goal. We're not going for Stargate because I've explained it before. I'll explain it again since this is the final episode. The thing about GTNH, especially this challenge, is at certain point it becomes the same as a normal run. Because yeah, the thing is, like, you eventually mine stuff out of thin air, make stuff out of thin air. All you do is supply power and then like run it through some machine. That's really the thing about that. And that's kind of where we're reaching with our series. And this rain is so annoying. I can't. Okay, 1 second. Let me just clear up this rain. Yeah, we can technically get Stargate, but we're not going for that. But yeah, at certain point, it really becomes just the same as a normal run, and I would be fine for that. But there's just too many factors that it take too long, and I want to play other mod packs, other games. But I will come back to it one day, and I'll say that again later. But yeah. Yeah, even though the official, yeah, we do have Chaos Island, but yeah, we didn't need to. But yeah, we'll be sleeping along watching this. Thank you. Yeah. Mega Apiary done. Next thing is a space elevator. Yeah, space elevator is one of the very big void mining thing, which is also what makes this even extra similar to a normal run. You look at like a mining module, you can start launching drones into space and start getting materials, which is honestly so cool, so sick. I love that so much. Man, it is so cool. But yeah, it's so fancy looking too. It's just good. It forces everyone to have a cool looking thing in their base. How long did you wait for the neutronium? For the Mega Apiary, it took a while. The longest thing that took for Mega Apiary was the Americium, which I said like the fusion ran for a few days straight. Space elevator neutronium took like, honestly, not that long too, like 2 days, 1.5 days, mostly because this setup EBF here. Oh, my magnets. Oh, goodbye fluorine. Is all UV hatches, so these are all running at UHV power, which makes neutronium cook pretty fast. What PC do you have? I can post my specs later if I don't forget. For Space Elevator, it was like 30. Yeah, it was not that long, honestly. I was kind of surprised. We just had to get the materials ready. It did require a ton of wetware. So if I look at our thing here, let's just look. Because yeah, we're like pretty much fully out of mats now. 2.7 mil UU matter. A lot more bacteria, which yeah, I said I turned it off, right? That's why it's not making more. At least that's free. Yeah, it's quite something. Actually, I'm surprised. I thought it'd be a lot more than this. This doesn't look that bad at all, surprisingly. Uh, Thankfully, European we were getting from the Vega BBs, right? It's so good. Such a good source of European. Like, literally, I didn't have to make European on Fusion anymore. I just turned it off. And everything else doesn't seem too bad. Oh yeah, the worst part really is wetware, and that is, where is it? Right there, 500 UHV tier circuits, because space elevator base casing uses 4 per, okay, 4 per 8, which, yeah, when you need 700 of them and more because other parts use base in their recipe, it's pretty expensive. Really expensive. But yeah, we did make it through. One of the main thing was the thing that took pretty much longest was the UU matter, because yeah, our setup in the last stream was just one of this guy, one ZPM. That was it. Just a single block, not even the multi block, and it worked for a good while. It did, but yeah, we would have had to wait like 2 weeks on this one guy, which we didn't want to do. So yeah, we did scale up to 2, but that's still not fast enough. The scraps are good. You know, they amplify, then which makes, you know, making UU matter faster compared to just using nothing. It's 4 times faster, but it's just not good enough. We have to get the multi block, which thankfully GTNH does add. If I can find it. Yeah, it's good. It does add like not the replicator. I should probably look at scrap. Yeah, mass fabricator, recycler, multi-block. It doesn't have a speed boost, but it does have peril, which is always great. Feed more power, and does a lot more recipes at once. And yeah, we did do that for the recycler here. I do have a fancy setup here for our old recycler single block setup. Yeah, it's quite interesting. And how I'm making all the fresh water, which is which is probably not the best way to do it, but I'll show here. So we have infinite water here, you know, that's getting fed into this tank, cycle back buckets using translocators, and yeah, you have a transfer node with crafting upgrade at 1 tick. So yeah, we're making 16 times 4 items, right? Wait, no, it's 4 items per craft. Yeah, 16 items per tick. Recycle, which isn't too bad, but you know, when this recycler runs at, wait, this isn't the recycler. I thought this was the recycler. Okay, this is not the recycler, but how did you get all those? Wait, all of these crimes? Oh, how did you get away from all of these crimes? Yeah, don't ask. But yeah, water crafting at the max. Yeah, this is really stupid setup, but it's surprisingly pretty okay. You know. So Scorpion, why did you do it like this? When you could have just slapped both storage buses. I'm not gonna ask. But yeah. Like I said, that water crafting, it looks really stupid, but it surprisingly wasn't fast enough when we started doing multis. And one of the suggestions we got from GOG Discord is using single-use tools, because there is a single-use tool, and it's available for all tool types. It's basically, it's like no NBT, no durability. When you craft something, like as if you were using like a file in its spot, right? It disappears. So it's like kind of okay for, crafting recipes in like A2 because it's no NVT, so you can use it for auto crafting. And interestingly, it does make a ton per. So if we look at like crowbar, for example, using 54 milliliter of steel, we get 2 stacks of items. And this is like less than half an ingot. It's like almost a third of an ingot, right? For 2 stacks of items, which is not bad. And yeah, that's what we've been doing. Yeah. It kind of killed our steel. Is it because no. I've explained it multiple times already, so you might have to go back to watch it, but it's basically because we're getting into similar state of a normal run, which that's not what we're here for. But yeah. It's a lot of steel, and it pretty much killed our iron source. Well, I say that, but it's built up by now. It's constantly going up. You'll probably even see it if I just pull out a stack. Go up. There you go. Yeah, it's going up. But yeah, we are fine. Nope. This guy. He killed our iron. And yeah, we've been feeding like the crowbar to be made into scraps. Scraps into UU matter. And we've done that here. Also, can these guys not wall share? I don't know, that might Scorpion might be grieving, but that's fine. These did have UV hatches, but you'll notice they're gone because I kind of yoinked them to toss them into the EBF at one point. We didn't make too many UV hatches, and at one point I just said, we have enough UU matter for the space elevator, right? Screw it, I'm gonna just take the UV energy hatches from here, just toss them in our EBF so they cook faster. That's kind of what I did. And I mean, it works. UU matter is useless at one point if we don't need more. I mean, they're not useless, like, if we were to continue. But for us, we didn't need more, so let's just go ahead and do that. But yeah, it's worked pretty well. And yeah, using processing array for this because these guys don't have a multi-block. Highest tier is EV. Thankfully, they are 1-tick recipes, though. That's kind of cool. And yeah, honestly, there's honestly not much we did other than all those because yeah, we were honestly not too far from Mega Apiary. It's on tier where we are, right? UV. Oh, we didn't finish this stupid quest. We could finish this. Oh, same for the fusion because we didn't hold this in hand. That's so dumb. But yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even skip the most annoying part about these multi-blocks. Yeah, Scorpion mentioned it in the chat. But this glass, here I'll show the recipe. The multi-block itself isn't the worst. It's this one. It does require advanced nitinol, which is also annoying, but containment casing is quite the recipe. Yeah. And all of these, like, oh, okay, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. A lot of circuits, but that's nothing at this point. Quantum anomaly looks quite fancy, used in the recipe. And yeah, this requires some interesting recipe. 1% to get it using some unknown particle in a comet, which is like a GT++ fusion in a way. But we did have to make comets here. And yeah, we did more than one because these guys are pretty slow, plus there's multiple steps for this thing. To get the quantum anomaly, we need unknown particle. To get unknown particle, you can either do this crazy recipe, which, no, it's just like, we're so far off. We're not doing that. You can do this recipe in another comet. This one's garbage, 1%, and it's slow. This one's 7.5%, 3 chances. But you need hydrogen and hydrogen ion. And to get hydrogen ion, well, you just run hydrogen through comet. So we did make 3 comets. I say we, but it was all Scorpion. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, these guys have been running just getting us quantum LMBs, and we have like actually multiple now at this point. We only needed like a 2 or 3. Yeah, that did unlock the UU matter multis, which if we were to continue, they're pretty darn crucial. Because UU matter is like used a lot in wetwares, and I believe they're used for just like future stuff in general, like nanites, crystalline buell, all this stuff. And yeah, they're used everywhere. A lot of recipes, 42 pages. That's great. Replicating is garbage. You just don't do that in the pack. I didn't realize that at the start, but yeah. Yeah, UU matter is pretty universal, but yeah. It was a thing we had to do eventually at one point, so yeah. Eventually we did do it. We needed UU matter. And yeah, we also did make Fusion Mark III because advanced nitinol, which sounds not too bad because nitinol itself is made in ABS, alloy blast furnace. Yep, using titanium nickel. Oh, that's not too bad. Advanced nitinol, it can't be that bad, right? Advanced nitinol. Where is Let's look at like the fluid. Interesting. You can melt advanced nitinol or get the plasma. Interesting. Well, there's really no way to get this except through plasma. And plasma, let's go through. Well, you gotta run it through a Mark III fusion to get 1 bucket. And you gotta run it through 2 things, Xenon and runite plasma. Let's add this to the recipe here. Xenon plasma, actually let me clear this. Xenon plasma you make with americium plasma and molten curium. Americium plasma you make through molten plutonium hydrogen gas. Not too bad. Runite plasma, well, you gotta make it through some new metals. Titan steel, astral titanium plasma. Gotta make it through force plasma and krypton plasma. And yeah, it just keeps going on. It's like unending. Like, how long is this? It's really bad. And we can probably just check the recipe pattern here. Yeah, a lot of plasmas. A lot of plasmas. I assume Mark II is also sharing some. Yeah, it is. Thankfully, they are somewhat auto-craftable. That's at least not the worst part. Nitinol standard for nickel titanium naval ordnance laboratory. What? Wait. It's an acronym? Nitinol acronym. What? That's actually crazy. Oh, that's where it was discovered? Wow, that's actually crazy. Okay, cool. It's a fun fact. Advanced ones are Xenon is fake. Oh, I see. Love GT++. Hope the creator lives long and yeah. GT++ is like got some really crazy stuff. Yeah. But yeah, nitinol, not the worst. Once you get Mark III fusion, just set up the recipes. You just wait on it for a bit. But yeah, this has been really good. Big worth. Otherwise, we would have just scaled up the single block, which I mean would have worked too. But hey, this was another fun side project in a way. Oh, Bartworks is the funny one. Yeah, Bartworks is also funny. And yeah, down here is honestly not much changes. I'll go F1 mode and just look around. Yeah, we have our auto chiseler, which we've had for a while. I did eventually make a multi-block for the fluid heater, so this thing is doing that at a lot faster speed. This is a stupid machine. It's the plasma arc furnace, which we had a single block version like here at one point, which we might still have. Nope, I moved it. But yeah, that's been doing that. And yeah, I just saw a machine that I completely forgot to talk about. This little guy here. Yeah, we were waiting around on space elevator material at one point, right? Like, oh, we gotta wait for more neutronium, more of this, more of that. So we just had a little bit of fun. Thing about UV, well, technically it's UHV, but you can do it in UV kinda. Thing about these is we had access to infinity catalyst, and there are 2 ways we could have gotten a lot more of. And I believe we did do one of this once using the UV crop synthesizer, which just uses some UHV circuits, which I mean we've seen before at this point. This requires 11 UHV circuits compared to 400 in the space elevator. It's like nothing, right? It's really not that bad. So we did make one, do the meteor, and this is pretty much second to last tier of the meteor, which is honestly crazy. There's only one more big meteor after this, which is for Giga Endgame stuff, Tangam ore, and they give you so many salt ore, so meme. But yeah, gives us a lot of Infinity Catalyst, and I think that is the only new thing here. Yeah, Indium's like a bonus, and Europium, Mercium, which yeah, we're getting infinite of anyways. But this is kind of cool because you can just turn it into dust, and if you just throw it in this machine, neutronium compressor, it also happens pretty instantly. Is Infinity Catalyst, which we do have, being sucked into the storage. Yeah, that's just something we worked on the side. Neutronium compressor wasn't too bad. Right here. It does look bad, but it's really just UV parts. Some metals we've been making before. And yeah, that's really it. 4 UHV circuits, you know, again, we're making 400 of these, so adding extra 4 is nothing. And thankfully you only need 1 because all the operation is instant, like I just showed. That's really good. And Infinite Catalyst itself doesn't do too much. Yeah, we have a ton at this point because there's also a B for it, which I did make at one point. It wasn't really too bad. Again, it just uses all the space Bs plus like side B. So I made Bernardo F beam, mix it with neutronium B, cosmic neutronium, and mix that with something else, and so on. Which is a pretty boring process. Yeah, we did do that. Infinity Catalyst. And Infinity Catalyst itself, again, doesn't do much unless if you have this endgame machine, which we don't have. But you can craft infinity ingots from it using Catalyst, some diamonds. This is really nothing, just star and diamond. Oops. Which thankfully, you know, we can get a ton of. Where was the recipe? And oh yeah, ton of cosmic neutronium. That's really the quote worst part. And I say like quote because it's free. It's you get a ton, but cooking time just takes forever. It's really slow despite using Xenon. 5 minutes on ZPM Electrum Flux. So yeah, that's really the only thing that was stopping us from spamming infinity ingots other than diamonds, nether stars, and such. But we did make some pretty fun stuff with infinity ingot. One of them being right here, infinite energy in AE2 only. And yeah, that's really good because this means you can spam all the expensive stuff. For example, wireless connectors. It's as you would think. You hook it up to your channel, and voila, you have wireless AE2 channel. It does use a decent amount of power though, so we've not been using it much before this. Been using it here and there, probably like only like 20-ish. But now we have access to spam it wherever we want. And it is really useful for endgame stuff, where you don't want to have to worry about channel management cables here and there as much, so you can just start spamming wireless. And yeah, that's kind of, you know, it's a little prevalent here and there, where yeah, we have like a single thing here. But we've been doing that more often after that. And yeah, I think that really is pretty much the end. There's other really cool creative stuff you can do with Infinity Ingot. Infinite Botania Mana, Infinite Range card. Yep, this is the one we made. Thankfully, it's cheap otherwise than like the 30-ish Infinity Ingots. Infinity Chest, which is kind of cool. We are missing Eternal Singularity though, which I'm not gonna do. It's really not the worst. It's mostly just using a ton of very random metals. Steel Singularity is fancy, unlimited balance. But yeah, they use a ton of blocks. which yeah, we could have done, but yeah, we didn't need to. But other fancy stuff. Okay, it's really just Botania infinite A power, but yeah. There are like multi-block upgrades that we've been missing out on, which required infinity frames and such, which we would have had access to now, but you know, again, no point. And after that is pretty much starting the recipe for the space elevator and waiting 2 days-ish and then building it. And that's where we are today. Yeah, there's really not been too much activity. Really a lot of waiting. And yep, it is operating with 0 modules. There are modules that we probably could have gotten at one point, but yeah, there's like mining module, which is the one where you just attach it to the space elevator. This is the multi-block, but you ideally like put it in one of these spots so it's like hooked up together. And then you use this to send the drones. I believe that's how it works. Which, yeah, we did technically have access to, but yeah, because it's all like the void miner stuff. All UV, UHV parts. Yeah, mostly UV parts. UV, ZPM, LUV, and then I think this is again, yeah, ZPM. Yeah, we really did have access to it. It's just, at this point, there's really no point. Really no point. But there are still stuff we can do with it. Also, that thing's really fancy. Like, it's not a block. Yeah, you can see it moving. It's like an actual entity that shows us on the space elevator. There is one thing we can do with this. Travel. We can go to any space we want, except like one thing. I think you need like some crazy spaceship or something. I'm not sure, but I don't know anything about space because this is our first time interacting with space this run. Yeah, and that's fine. We weren't doing a spaceless run. Our run just happened to not have any space in it. That's really what happened. But yeah, I can really go anywhere we want, like make make. I don't know how that's pronounced. Make make? No, it's probably make make. But hit launch, and we're there. I'm in this stupid lander. And yeah, we can do that for any of the moons we want. Oh, the mothership? Yeah, that's probably what we need. And they are all void, so there's really no point coming here. And yeah, we would have had access to space pumping, because there are void pumps. Or actually, how would I check it? Oh yeah, here, right? Where on certain moons you can get like really cool gases, and some of them are really crazy good. Oh, I'm dying. Some of them are crazy good. Like you can pump radon, I believe. Where is it? I'll find it. Oh, here it is. You can pump it. Oh, that's space mining though, which is also pretty expensive. Oh, maybe it is only space elevator pumping. Oh yeah, that's. Wait, we technically almost had access to it. We did need the next tier of circuits, but oh god, living solder too. That's all the endgame stuff, which we aren't gonna do. And yeah, one of the cool things we could have done, which is breed indium bee, because it does need Venus. Yeah, there's really no point to do it anymore, but yeah. It would have unlocked some cool stuff, which yeah, we don't need to do anymore. And that's really everything about our run. And I think it's time to take a little bit of a nostalgia trip, because it's time to look around the base one last time. Our newest area, right? For processing, fusions, donuts, moved the volcanosis here, added way more. The meteor auto mining. And I still really like what I was trying to do here. I think it's pretty nice. Really nice. And this probably should have been a bigger tree, but you know, that's fine. I tried decorating it. That's really all that matters. our main area in the new top area. Bacterial vets, circuit assembly lines, and our assembly lines, research stations, data banks. The quota line, UU meta setup, both are pretty tiny. And where probably would have scaled more bacteria vets, but didn't. CV factory, only one attachment, but that's fine. Space elevator, newly built. Let's go down. Our B area, which has been with us for a long time, which is one of the least used space this run. I mean, who would have thought we would skip Alveary and just skip to industrial apiaries, right? Witchery area. Okay, this is probably the least used space, like legit. Very, very, very rarely I came here to craft like golden string in here. Yeah, that was really it. But hey, it looks fancy regardless. Hello. But yeah, also the random apiary sitting here. It still looks pretty good. Ignore the mobs. Unfinished walls here, that's fine. Our blood magic area. Sadly, only one altar, but it was planned for 4 altars in mind. We really didn't need to scale up EM that much, which I was surprised by. Mostly because they can also be world accelerated, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, you can see like the particles go crazy. But yeah. And then like the EEC down here for blood. And then before the B area, actually no, it was after the B area, was this extension, which was meant to house some of the more complicated passive setups. It also housed our creeper farm, which has been pretty much running non-stop the day it was set up. Sadly, it only runs when someone's online, so we did set up the online detectors. Because yeah, mobs can't spawn when no one's online. But yeah, with the crazy over-enchanted spike, crazy XP rates, it's going up and down so fast. But yeah, it's somehow net gain. And their crazy XP crafting setup, which actually has not been, yeah, it's not been stopped, similar to this guy. Just constantly crafting us a ton of garbage, which has been good. Sulfur, iron dust, redstone, all the goodies. And our EBF area, this is where we had our Volcanus, which has been moved up at this point. But it did look cool. Just this plot for EBFs. And our very old ore processing, which has just been stripped down at a certain point. Macerator is still here. This is our OG first Macerator setup. Right now, it's mostly used for recipes, but it is still here. And then a few of our random stuff. And our main area, which still houses all the multi-block craftings. And they have been changed up at one point. This is honestly not the best design. It really isn't the best design. Just having curves and corners to fit around. Ideally, you want like a big space or straight space, but hey, it's worked for us. It looks half fancy enough, right? And their other stuff are single mega LCR for batch crafting. Our RF area, it's a little lacking, literally, to EIO machines. That's fine. And surprisingly, our only crafting interfaces, this is legit all we really had. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised by that, because a lot of the crafts are done through GT machines, so they don't really have to be crafted through these guys. And here's our magic area. Recyclers, I took it down at one point, big sad, but we still have the drawers from our old recycler. And yeah, they've been surprisingly running for a long time, which is kind of funny. And it's been honestly not the worst. It gave us a ton of dirt, gravel at one point, and just random stuff in general. But it was one of the important steps we needed to get to HV very back in the day. Very, very, very early game. Oh, yeah. We have a relic in our base still. I'll show off after magic. Yeah, this is still this is still the same since like the first time we started Magic, the water tank here with the cauldron crucible. It's been fast enough to keep up with like batch crafting recipes, so yeah, I just left it as is. Nowadays we have like automated setup for it, but we didn't, take this down. And their first infusion, which we've worked around to make it automated, and all the jank, but hey, that's fine. And here comes a very old relic. It's down here. I've left it. Our LV bio or LV basic combustion generator. Oh, the stupid elevator. And on old relic, it still uses biodiesel. It is not even cetane. So yeah, this is like really old. I think, if I remember correctly, this was placed here for our logistics power setup. So like, because we had our logistics thing right here, so we were powering that using biodiesel. But yeah, this is this is really old. There's probably like some really old stuff here and there, but that's still there. And then here comes our lab. I think that's what we named it here. Yeah, lab. Where we have our. This is mine. This is my awful plat setup. And one of the worst setups we have. It's an absolute crime against humanity. But my god, it's worked. Surprisingly worked really well, making us like ton of platinum and like other metals. God, I will never do this again. I swear. This is, yeah, I don't know why. Why I did this, but it is funny if I look at it now. just look at this and say, oh yeah, this is Flatline, by the way. You don't, yeah, I don't trust you now. Hey man, this is my first time playing with GT. I was tasked with this thing, so might as well. Here's our radon loop, which not needed, but it does make radon. And yeah, all the chemical stuff here. I'm not gonna go through every one of them, but anything you might need. This guy was for that turned off probably. Yeah, phthalic acid, which is used a ton for comb processing, so we didn't need a ton. Yeah, all the basic chemicals here. And here is our benzene setup. Yep, I almost forgot the chemical name, benzene. Where we have our tree growth simulator, which we didn't have until we really needed to scale up stuff. Because before we were using bonsai. Yeah, it's like not been running so much because yeah, it makes way too much wood, so just turn it off at a certain point. And it's been going strong. Once we did get fusion, it's been running less, but it still runs regardless. Just random stuff here and there. And then here's our extra setup for very random stuff. Scorpion mostly set all of this up. I think he set up all of this actually. I didn't touch anything in this spot. And it's just random stuff, like one of them is processing more chlorine. One of them is hydrogen from, I think, 1,2-dimethyl benzene. Might be this one. Yeah, 1,2-dimethyl benzene, because it electrolyzes into a ton of hydrogen and carbon. We've been doing that. And this one for like biochef and plant ball, just random stuff. And this random distillery here. This is the tier 2 distillery. Yeah, this one too actually, but I'll just break it to show it. Yeah, then go to distill. And it's really funny because see how much. Ooh, 18 billion distilled water. Yeah, you can tell this guy's been running for a while, huh? Output hatches are quite busted, which makes sense, they're being nerfed. So if we play next time, we're gonna have to work around that. But yeah, a ton of distillery filled water. We didn't need a ton of ammonia, so at one point we had to scale that up. But and then our Naquata line. And let's just skip that because we've seen Naquata enough. And then our press. This was where we had our first assembly line. I did move it, but it's fine. And then our press, our main assembly power. Yeah, we would have had to scale it up better. This was a good design, but when you need to scale it up a ton, it probably wasn't the best design. It did work for us, that's fine. There were some recipe conflicts here and there which was quite bad, but that's also fine. But yeah, there's that. And then finally we go down into, well, I guess I didn't show up here, but hey, B area downstairs. Finally we go down into our old area. Because yeah, it's still here. Below our base, where we first started off. Okay, yeah, you moved the assembly line. But this is quite literally our first dirt plot, our first spawning platform. And it's still here to this day. I believe this was where our mob farm entrance was, right? I think this dirt was like the bridge to it, and then we had a stairway here. Yeah, I know Scorpion. I was gonna show that. But our Fireswarm mob farm, and like we still have our very, very first draconic place stuff below the base. And this is really old, like literally like first few minutes of the game. It's quite crazy. Because like we had nothing to stand on. Ah. Our old infernal mob farm really didn't take most stuff up, but it's still here regardless. This has surprisingly been really good for us. I think. Well, I'm not doing GOG again, but if anyone's doing GOG, this is definitely worth it. It's quite crazy good. A lot of enchanted books, a lot of gems, base metals, iron, steel, because you get to macerate chain armor, and so on. But yeah, one of the OG setups, our farms, one of the first. Well, this is not the first tree we got. This is like the fruit tree we got from like a quest or something. Our Twilight Forest portal. And then this is, yep, our first coke oven. Let's see, roughly 2 months ago. Yep, this is this is like 3 days after we started or something. But yep. Then our really old food chest. And our first set of hats we placed down in like a more permanent thing. And this hats have been here since then. But yeah, that's really it. We've gone from nothing to space elevator, space mining, space resource traveling. But yeah, it's been a journey, a really long journey, and it was really fun. Definitely worth the challenge. Oh, and here's our first magic area actually. The silverwood implanted into the ground. There's definitely a ton of things I learned from this pack. I mean, even just GTNH in general, I think teaches a ton on how to play mod packs. It is really the hardest pack for a reason, you know? There's a reason it's called the hardest pack. Scaling up AE2 like giga crazy. And in a way where it does not feel overkill. Like, I thought this was overkill, but the more I scale up, I'm like, okay, maybe it wasn't overkill after all. Because like, yeah, look at this stuff, right? Yeah, it's quite something. I didn't even show the crop area, but there it is. And here's our far view of the base. Maybe I should hide that. But yep, that's it for GOG. Really fun. Really, really fun. I'm surprised how fast we scaled up at a certain point, but that's fine. We are playing on a server after all, but... And this is not the end for GTNH. I really want to finish the pack one day. It is really a fun pack. And UHV, where we got to, is essentially where endgame really starts kicking off. You know, you get access to Infinity and get all the cool stuff. But I'd say this is really where the end game starts for the pack, because like you start having to scale up everything even faster and more very crazy stuff. Like the bio stuff I did show off at one point, which is even more bacteria bats and more work into that stuff. We are mid game. Yeah, we're like close to end game. I'd say like finishing UHV chapter is where you start, end game tier stuff, right? That's kind of where, at least from what I've seen, is more or less valid. But yeah, one day I'll come back. It's not gonna be anytime soon, nowhere soon, because yeah, I don't have the time to play this game. Is like DTF, yeah. GTNH probably would be better than GH. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, ask it now, because we're about to end GOG for real. It's really cool stuff in general. Oh, you know what, Scorpion? There's one more thing we have not done. I did prep for this. Where you at, Scorpion? There is quite one more thing we have to do. We have to kill God. He is on, right? Come. Down to our starting area. Actually, you know what? Screw the bets. I see a stupid name tag. Hey, come down here. Give me a second. Okay. Alright, are you ready? Boom. There you go. Now we kill God. Yep, there we go. Officially end. We checked off everything. Right? Now we're done. For real, for real. Every task is finished. Nora wasn't here to witness, but that's fine. And you start another journey in different pack, which I've already started in Money Factory. But yeah, for now, GOG ends. One day I'll come back with GTNH. It's not gonna be anytime soon, like I said. But that'll be a ton of fun when that happens. What did he drop? He dropped Stab Alloy. It's a random Stab Alloy goal. But yeah, thanks for watching. And we'll see. It's gonna be something else when it starts again. But yeah, I'm gonna start Money Factory stream after this. Scorpion's gonna study. Yeah, I have university stuff too, so that's that. But Money Factory will continue. But yeah, thanks for watching. It's gonna be the end for GOG. Yeah, we'll see you guys. We'll see this one day. Money Factory stream coming up soon. TM.